Operation skins are by far the best investments in CS2. Here is exactly why, and here is how to make the most profit investing in them. You've probably heard before that operation items are worth investing in, but have you ever thought about why that is the case? Today we will be taking a deep dive into exactly why operation skins are fundamentally the best investments in Counter-Strike, and I will also give you a step-by-step guide that will help you squeeze the most out of your hard-earned dollars. What does the Op Dragon lore have in common with the MP7 Teal Blossom and the MAC-10 strats? They all dropped during operations, and although the exact way they dropped is different, the key thing connecting them is that they are all completely discontinued. In other words, their supply cannot increase at all. Not only is their supply not increasing, but people are actively deleting the lower tier skins and trade-ups to try to create higher tier items. These are both contributing factors to why the factory new Op Gungnir, which is essentially just a bunch of pixels on your screen, goes for almost $11,000. But decreasing supply is not enough. Just because a collection is rare and the supply is dropping doesn't mean the prices of the skins will automatically be high. Just check out the old Inferno collection, for example. I bet most of you didn't even know this existed. The most expensive non-souvenir skin in this collection is the factory new M4 Tornado, and its price doesn't even reach $85. The reason for this significant price difference is obvious when you put them side by side. The Gungnir looks absolutely stunning, while the M4 literally looks like a piece of poop. So for a skin to be expensive, it not only has to be rare, but people also have to want to own the skin. And we have arrived at the core principle in economics: supply and demand. And this principle dictates that in order for something to increase in price, either the demand has to go up, or the supply has to go down, or a combination of the two. So if we want the demand to go up, we need one of two things. The first one is that there has to be some kind of hype around the game or the specific collection, and people will start panic buying due to FOMO, which will increase prices a lot. However, this is extremely unpredictable, and for that reason, there's really no point to us considering it at all. The other thing that would increase demand is some sort of change to the skin. This could be a visual improvement, such as Dopplers in CS2 versus CSGO, or a weapon stats boost, such as the damage boost that the M4A1S received about a year ago. Both of these are expected to cause a price increase that might be more sustainable than just a hype, but once again, this is also pretty unpredictable, and we can't really do anything about it. In order to find the best investment, we don't just buy the skin that's already expensive. We're trying to find a skin that is currently relatively cheap, but is expected to go up in price over time. So instead of looking for rare and expensive skins, we have to look for skins that are actively getting rarer, and operation skins are exactly such. People are trading them up like crazy. SkinsMonkey is an automated Counter-Strike trading website that's perfect if you want to quickly swap out your skins and get a good deal. They offer a 35% deposit bonus on every cash deposit, and they even give you a bonus of $5 when you start trading. Right now, they're running a Christmas event where everyone gets a free gift, and you don't even have to trade for it. I got a field-tested AK Ice Cold worth over $8, and I could immediately withdraw it to my Steam account. You get more rewards as you trade more, and I got 2 more items totaling another $4. And on top of all that, they're even running a Santa's raffle, which is an advent calendar where you get a gift every day. The gift could be a deposit bonus all the way up to 50%, or it could be golden tickets. And these could win you all the way up to a Karambit lore, and every day with your new golden tickets, you're gonna be closer to winning it. So check out SkinsMonkey and use my code TechSavvy to claim your free rewards now. So in order to find the most optimal operation item to invest in, we first have to find the collection, and then we have to figure out which specific skin to buy. Because of trade-ups, any skin of a specific collection is essentially a small piece of the covert at the top. To find the total supply of a collection, you can kind of imagine doing every possible trade up in that collection, trading up first from consumer to industrial, then to mil-spec, then to restricted, then to classified, and finally to covert. And once you've deleted every single non-covert skin from that collection, you're left with a set number of coverts. Let's take the Norse collection for example. We're essentially calculating how many Gungnirs there would be if we traded up every single Norse skin in existence. We can turn the 2.7 million consumers into 270,000 industrials, and so on, and in the end, we end up with a total covert cap of roughly 6,500 for the Norse collection. I calculated the covert cap for most of the collections that I think could be a good investment. There's a couple notable ones. The covert cap for the Control collection is 27,400. That is a gargantuan number. On the other hand, look at the 2021 Vertigo collection. That is 10 times less at only 2,800 M4 imminent dangers. And now that we have a pretty good estimate on supply numbers, we have to consider demand. There's going to be two types of demand. There's going to be play skin demand and trade up demand. Play skin demand is pretty self-explanatory. People want to buy skins just to play with them, and this is really important because if this type of demand wasn't there, there would be no trade up demand whatsoever. In other words, if the Gungnir were to look terrible, no one would really try to do trade ups because it wouldn't be expensive in the first place. Trade up demand is also relatively self-explanatory. This is when people buy a bunch of collection skins just to throw them in a trade up and burn it in the hopes of creating a higher quality skin from that collection. This is the main mechanism that makes these collections such a good investment. People buy a gargantuan number of skins to delete in trade ups, and this constantly shifts the collection towards the higher rarity tier items. And now we have everything that we need in order to find out which collections are potentially undervalued. We do this by looking at the current prices, the supply numbers, how the skin looks, and a couple other factors as well. If there's a collection of skins that you think look better than what the supply numbers and prices dictate, that might be an indicator that this collection could appreciate in price in the near future. There's also non-visual factors that explain why the Control collection was the best skin investment of recent years, even though the Op Fade isn't really that good. And this factor is the fact that a lot of the skins in the Control collection have a really low float gap, like 0.1 or 0.08. If you imagine starting off with a bunch of 0.1 minimal wear float consumers from the Control collection and you craft it all the way up to an Op Fade, you could end up with a quintuple 04 Op Fade, which would be the rank 1 lowest float by far. So this demonstrates how good the Control collection is for getting low floats from trade ups, and actually this is the exact effect that will help Sparkles create the new #1 Dragon Lore trade up. Finally, we need to figure out which specific skin to buy. Taking a look at this past year's growth of the 2021 Mirage collection, which is a collection that was affected by neither skin changes nor weapon buffs, the consumers are up about 200%, the industrials are up a massive 280%, mil-specs about 180, restricteds 110, and classifieds around 75. I wouldn't really recommend investing in any of the coverts because although this is the skin that looks the best, they cannot be traded up, and this means that their supply is not decreasing, but is actually increasing. So based on these numbers, the best is industrials. And this is generally the case with other collections as well, but now that we know which collection and which rarity we're gonna buy, how do we decide which exact skin to buy? Well, the reality is, it doesn't really matter at this point. If there's a specific skin that has a lower float cap, such as the CZ Silver, it might be worth setting up buy orders for those to see if you can get some low floats, or if one of them looks better, such as the M4 Moss Quartz from the Norse collection, then that might also be worth taking a look at over the others, but overall, it's not really gonna matter. So what's my pick? This is not financial advice, but I'm a big fan of the 2021 Vertigo collection, as well as the Control collection, specifically Scout Carbon Fibers and Mag 7 Carbon Fibers, because they all have 0.12 float caps, and I do have quite a few of them in one of my storage units. I definitely do not have as many though as I would ideally have, and that is because they are so fun to trade up, and unfortunately I am a degenerate, and over the past year, I traded most of them up. I literally had 300 2021 Dust 2 Industrials in factory new, but by the time they started going up in price to above 50 cents, I had already used them in trade ups. If you're gonna buy any of these as investments, please make sure you don't trade them up, because if you do, you kind of wasted your investments. So if you pick the right skins and you're patient about it, meaning that you don't trade them up like me, then your odds of profiting is remarkably high. So this is how to make the most out of your Operation Collection investments. If you'd like to see how the low float caps of the Cobblestone and the Control collection will help Sparkles create the #1 lowest float Dragon Lore, then watch this video next. It explains how that is possible. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.